my question would be, how much respect does he have for marriage? Mm-hmm. Is there really any boundaries for him? Because if you're willing to disrespect somebody else's marriage, what are you willing to do to yours?
What's up, real ones? Welcome back to the Relationship Podcast, where we're bringing the real back to relationships.
Yes, sir.
I'm Asha Steele.
And I'm Devin Steele.
And we're so excited that you guys are tuning in today with us.
We excited to be here today. Yes. But I got to admit, I'm tired.
It's okay.
We're
going to get through it.
Listen, like normally when we have, because it's like one weekend out of the month, I have on-sites for school where it's like 9 hours, 3 straight days of just, I don't know, so much information that it just floods your brain. And I normally be worn out after those weekends. So I'm like still trying to get myself together, but we showed up today.
Absolutely.
Because me and Asha talked before the new year and we said, look, we're going to change a lot of things in our lives. Like we're going to be consistent with a lot of things and a lot of goals that we want to reach for 2022. So we're here. Yep. It's the 3rd straight episode of the new year.
We're on track, y'all.
Yeah, let's get it. So before we even start this new episode, you know, we got a couple of announcements we want to make. The first one is to shout out to everybody who joined our text community over this past week. Like we said in last week's episode, like our goal was to be able to give y'all information to help you create the relationships and the marriage that you want, like really help them flourish without having to listen to an hour-long podcast or not having to read a long blog, but just being able to get quick information. So we came up with the love taps where every Friday we just send y'all something that y'all can read over real quick. It doesn't take more than a minute to read, that you can start practicing in your relationship in order to improve it. So shout out to everybody who joined our text community. If you haven't yet, just text hashtag love tap to 302-231-0338 and you'll get that text message every single Friday.
Yes, you guys. So we also wanted to give y'all an update because we share with y'all our declaration for the new year of getting on our fitness journey, being consistent and sticking to it, right? Yeah. And so we're holding each other accountable, but we also told y'all so y'all can hold us accountable as well, right? And so you guys,
take a deep breath.
You guys, last week was a little struggle for your girl. I'm not going to lie, okay? I indulged in a little bit too much, okay? And I actually ended up gaining a pound. However, you guys, I lost 2 inches, right? Yeah.
So I guess it up for that.
Yeah, let's clap it up. Just a little.
I forgot which one the joint is.
You know what?
Here we go. That it? There we go.
Yes, you guys. So you know, it's okay. It's a struggle. I accept the struggle. I know that it's an up and down journey. You just have to be consistent. So I took my little cheat moment and I was like, you know what? We back on track. But we're back on track this week. Yeah. We've been consistent this week. So, yeah.
That's how it be, though. Like, a lot of people think that the weight loss journey is that you just see a straight line down. Mm-hmm. But that's not really how this thing works. Like, it's going to be a bunch of hills. It's going to be ups and downs. You're going to experience certain things in your life that are going to cause certain triggers. A cheat meal might turn into a cheat day. A cheat day may turn into a cheat weekend, and a cheat week, and a cheat month. Like we
don't want it to go all the way today.
No, hopefully it doesn't go that way. But you know what I mean? That's just the facts of life. Like everything is not a straight line. Like there's going to be certain challenges along your journey, and what's important for you to do, whether it be weight loss or you're just trying to accomplish any type of goal, is forgiveness. Like forgiving yourself for messing up, forgiving yourself from, not being laser focused on your goals, and just like we said get back up on a horse. Yeah. Like you messed up one day, that's okay. Put that day in the past and then start to move forward. I think the problem with a lot of people is if they mess up, they stray away from their goal. They're like, oh man, what's the point? Mm-hmm. I just messed up, so there's no point of trying to, reach my goal. And it's like, nah. We got a lot more days left in the new year, and you can end up winning the year just by winning each and every day possible. With that being said, I won the day. I won a couple of days, right? So last week I told y'all I lost 10 pounds. Now I'm down 15 pounds since the start of the new year. So go ahead and clap it up for Debbie Dev. Yes, sir. Hold on, I'm gonna take all that applause. But yeah, it's been a great start for this first 2 weeks, and I think that making that public declaration helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, I got to get to work because I got to be able to come on this episode and let these people know that I'm out here putting in the work so that they know I'm not just out here talking.
Yeah, because just like we keep it real, y'all keep it real with us. So if y'all see us slacking, y'all would definitely let us know. Like when we was sitting up here, leaving y'all hanging sometimes, y'all would be like, where y'all at? Yeah. I'm up here waiting for y'all.
Pull up on us.
Okay, but we appreciate it. We appreciate y'all being supportive and consistent with us. We love y'all. So yeah, we rocking with y'all. So make sure y'all hold us accountable as well. If y'all hear us talking like, oh, y'all missed talking about y'all update, what y'all really doing over there, check us, okay?
But I also wanted to touch on it for the ladies out there too, because I think that a lot of the times we put a lot of pressure on the numbers on the scale. When, especially for women, that's not really the most important number. For y'all, it's really your inches. Yeah. And I think that's why it's important. Like whenever you're going on a weight loss journey, I'll probably say 4 things that you need to do. Number 1 is take a before picture so that you can see the progress that you're making throughout the week. I think it's really cool when you're able to do that. If you take a picture each week and you're able to see your body composition change. Yes. Number 2, weigh yourself before you start so that you can have a starting point and you understand, you can measure the progress that you're on, that you're getting. Other thing is to take your inches. Like what is this called? Your bust? Yeah, take the measurements of your bust, take the measurements of your waist, and take measurements of your apple bottoms.
Your butt.
Yeah. So that you can track that, because a lot of times with women, when you start to lift weights, especially if you don't normally lift weights, you're going to start to build up that muscle mass, right? Your glutes are going to start to grow. Your quads are going to start to grow. And muscle weighs more than fat. So you may get discouraged looking at the scale because the numbers are not really changing, but that's where the measurements from your inches come into place. That's where looking at the pictures of you over the however many weeks will help you see that, oh, I may not see the numbers changing on the scale, but things are changing. Yeah. So that you don't get defeated or feel defeated and just give up on your goals. So
yeah, that was one of my biggest issues. Well, yeah, it was. Sometimes it still is. But just, when you see that number, when you are lifting weights and you are building up that muscle, you see all the weight that you've lost. And then you see like it's either going nowhere or it's decreasing a little bit, or maybe you gain a couple pounds. And so it's just like you said, it's discouraging. So I know for me, one thing that helped with that was me not just checking the scale every single day or every single time after a workout, like trying to calculate, okay, did I lose some weight today? Did I lose some weight after this workout? And just realizing and accepting that, the weight is going to fluctuate. But like Devin said, as long as I'm checking my measurements and looking at those pictures, I can see the results. Yeah. And so I don't have to be so stressed out about the number that's on the scale.
Yeah. So what we got next?
So let's get into, before we get into today's topic, let's talk about what's just keeping it real. What you got on your mind?
Oh, I got a couple of things on my mind. Which one I want to start with?
Y'all know when he said he got a couple things, he about to go in.
Oh, now I only remember 2, and I definitely had 3, but I'm just going to give y'all what I know now. Hopefully the other one pops up in my mind. The first one is, ladies, I need y'all to take out piece of paper, notebooks, the note app on your phone, and I'm about to tell y'all one of the most important things that you will ever hear on this podcast, right? And if your man is around you, make sure you bring him over to listen to this or to watch this, and I guarantee you he's going to agree with what I'm about to say. You ready for me to say it?
What are you about to say, y'all?
Ladies, if your man takes off his clothes before he gets in the bed and he leaves them by the side of the bed, do not touch them. Do not put them in the dirty clothes.
I can't.
He is not done with them. He is not being lazy by any means. He is not messing up the room that you spent time to clean up. He's simply leaving them by his side of the bed because he's not done with them yet.
Yo,
okay?
That's a lie.
He's not. No, it's not a lie. And every man out there will agree with me. Like the things that I want to put in the dirty clothes, I will put in the dirty clothes. But if I leave it,
you put in the dirty clothes after a few days.
If I leave it by the side of the bed, I'm not done with it.
Y'all, so what happens when you have several outfits that you done left by the bed?
Because in my mind, I'm thinking about how I can put them together to look like a different.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
No, but listen.
He have socks, drawers, shirts, jackets, ties, stuff that don't even go together.
That's
okay,
a lie.
You have everything by the bed.
If I leave like a pair of shorts or something by the bed, I'm not done with it. And it's like, it's the worst feeling ever when you go get it and it's not there because they just threw it in the dirty clothes.
Y'all, see, okay, so this is funny because we've heard like several other couples talk about this as well, this being a thing. And like for me, I very much feel like I have OCD when it comes to cleaning around the house. Like I legit throw away anything that's around, put up anything. Like he says the same thing with his cups, like his little drink workout cups. He leaves them on the counter and it's like 50 cups on the counter. And I'm like, true. No, you don't need to me. Okay, all these cups.
So what I'm going to tell y'all is this. I'm going to be Inspector Gadget. So I'm going to start taking videos to show y'all because women always hyping something up.
No.
So, all right. So this is what I do because I try to take care of the house, not make a bunch of dishes and cups and stuff. So what? Yeah, you all right? You need some water? So
don't get the
if I have workout cups, I will use my workout cups for my green drink in the morning. I will use it for my pre-workout. I will use it for my post-workout shakes, and I will use it to drink water throughout the day.
You say you would use one cup for all day?
Yeah, I do. That's why I leave it out. That's why I leave it out.
Okay.
That's why I leave. So why would I say something? You know what? I'm just talking to y'all. I'm not even talking to her right now because she's lying.
We gonna record
so I will use that same cup over and over again. So I will leave it on the counter so I can use it, and she'll just put it up. And she'll even put a clean cup up like you did the other day, right? And I sat there and watched you. I just put this cup out so I can use it to drink water. She goes to the counter and just throws it in the sink.
He takes out 50 cups. He has all those cups, all those different drinks he named. He has a cup for each one of them. That's what he's really not telling y'all.
That's not a fact.
And it's so annoying to me because I'm like, I hate clutter. I hate stuff all over the place.
Is a clutter.
Anything is a clutter to me. Yeah. And I'm just like cleaning it up. He does that. So it's the same thing with the clothes, everything. Like, I just can't.
Now the truth is coming out. Like I said, listen, follow me on Instagram at Still in the Game. I'm literally going to document what I be going through because she constantly just puts my stuff away because she has OCD. So ladies, just take this note, man. Yeah. If he leaves it by the side of the bed, that means he's not done with it.
But okay, to before we go on from this, can you fellas, like, if y'all gonna leave it by the side of the bed, can y'all have like a designated area for it?
Though.
No, you don't.
Oh my goodness.
No, you don't.
He
recently and this is very sometimes will put it by the dresser.
Right.
But beforehand, you was leaving it just like it was like a trail coming from where he dropped it to where he just finished dropping the last article.
You're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth. I'm moving on because we're just not going to get any honesty out of her today. So we're just going to move on. My second, just keeping it real moment, and I know you listening right now, but my second, just keeping it real moment is I don't know what to call my in-laws.
Dun, dun, dun. We need a button for that.
Listen, we've never had that conversation. I don't know what to call them.
But you know what? It's so funny because we had this conversation because I felt the same way, right? And so we're wanting to know, do you guys have the same way, like the same feeling? Like, is this a discussion that you have?
Listen, so I felt crazy that I didn't know what to call your mom and dad. So I like called Charlie and I'm like, yo, what you call your in-laws? He just started laughing. He was like, I don't call them nothing. I just start the conversation and don't really say nothing. And I was like, yo,
and that was me.
Are we the only people out here that do that? Because I never really called them anything. Like I won't call them Miss Shannon. I won't call them Mr. Duran because that's just like really awkward. So I would just like look for the opportunity to just jump into the conversation. Yeah. And I don't know if they feel weird about it. I'm sure we're going to talk about it after they listen to this, but I don't know what to do. I
don't know. I think unless you have like a conversation, you know, especially like when you're combining families, right? When you are now getting married or even when you're like having children or whatever, it's kind of like uneasy and unsure of what you call your new family. Like, how do you address them? What do you say? Are you comfortable enough? Do y'all have that type of relationship? And so it is, I think, a conversation that's necessary, right? Yeah. It was funny because I was actually like you, and I didn't know that. What were you talking to your mom? Well, we were talking about it first, but then we had a discussion. I think you brought it up with your mom. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that she was noticing that I was doing that, right? So I would literally, like you said, Charlie, which is his best friend, would say, like call up, or when you're talking to them, just talk to them, but just you're like, hey, so what do you like about that? Or like just start up a conversation, because it was like I didn't know how to address her. I didn't want to be disrespectful and be like, call her by her first name or anything, but then I didn't want to be too like formal and call her like Miss, her last name. And so I was just like, I don't even know. I'm just gonna talk. And so that's just what I did for years, y'all. We've been married going on 6 years, and we're having
terrible. They like, why they even got a relationship podcast?
We're just having this conversation though. But it's so funny to me because I never felt. It didn't feel awkward to me, right? It didn't feel weird. It just was like I was just having, like, I would just say it. And like, truthfully, after the years passed, like since we didn't bring it up after we got married, we didn't sit down and formally address it at the dinner table.
If it's not broke, why fix it?
I was just like, hey, I'm going to just go with it. We don't have a bad relationship, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. But then I was just like, no, I'm just going to do something different because we're close. I'm close with your parents. You're close with my parents. And so, like, what do we call y'all? So...
Yeah. And then Asha set a goal because we had a family vacation. Yeah. For Christmas, where she was like, you know what? Out of nowhere, I'm just gonna be like, hey mom, hey dad, hey pops. So she did it, and I don't even think my mom called. And I was like, Mom, did you hear that? She was like, what? She
heard it secretly. She was so excited.
Yeah, I know. She tried to hold it in.
Oh yeah, finally.
Because we had to talk with her before, and I was like, yo, mom. I was like, what'd I say to her? I think I was like, yo, what's Asha supposed to call you or something? Or Asha don't say nothing when she's trying to speak to you. Like, she don't call you nothing. She was like, you know what? I was thinking about that the other day. She'll just be like, start in the mid-conversation from across the room and don't really say nothing, but I ain't really know what was going on. And I was like, yeah, well, she trying to change things up. So she finally said it. And it was cool to hear. I think my turn is next, but I don't know. I don't know why I feel weird doing this, because it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't see it growing up. So it's kind of like awkward, or, my parents are living and I don't know if it's like weird for me to call another person mom or another person dad. I don't know. Maybe there's some internal things that I got to work on me, but I just want to know, like, let me know that we not the only ones out there. Even if we are, we know that Charlie does it too. So we got one person out there with us. But what do y'all do? Like, did y'all ever have the conversation with y'all in-laws to be like, hey, can I call you mom? Can I call you dad? Is it weird for y'all? Like, let us know.
Yeah, we got to know, you guys. So moving right along, are you finished with your just keeping it reals?
I am. No, but there is another question I want to ask you. Mm-hmm. So I was talking today, right, with some people online. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing that?
Because you just always got to pull something out the hat. What we got?
No. So I was talking with some people online, and there was a mention of somebody breaking up and them saying that they were going to remain great friends. Mm-hmm. And I posed the question, if a lot of people claim that friendship is the foundation of relationships, but yet most people claim they're going to remain great friends after a breakup, is friendship really the foundation of a healthy relationship? Or is saying we're going to be friends after breaking up just BS?
So
what's your thoughts?
Okay, so I don't necessarily know. Like, I feel like everything's like sometimes, well, not everything, but most things are like very much like cliche. Like, it sounds good, right?
Yeah.
It sounds good. Like, we just throw out these terms and like, oh, it sounds good, but how true is it? How much are you really going to follow that? And so I think with you saying like friendship being the foundation of a relationship, I feel like it's at the core of a relationship. I don't know if it's necessarily just the foundation, because if people say, like you said, if you say, oh, well, if y'all going to be friends, well, why leave your friend? Y'all have a great friendship, right? And if y'all going to remain friends afterward, well, what can we not fix so that we can work on and have this relationship, because we friends. Like, we going to always be friends, right? That's what you say. So I don't necessarily know. I do, however, think a lot of people are probably BSing when they do separate, and it's like, oh, we're going to remain cordial. We're going to remain great friends. I love this person. We're going to be friends to the end.
Yeah.
No. No. I wish you well. If we didn't end on bad terms, and like you said, you do share a relationship years with that person, you can wish them well. You can hope for the best for them. You can.
Have you ever tried?
Try what? Try what?
Have you ever tried to be friends with one of your exes before?
No.
Never?
Never.
High school?
I also never really ended a relationship that's been on great terms. Okay. So
but even sometimes when people don't end on great terms, they like, that's them throwing the hook out. Like, hey, we can just be friends and all this other stuff. But it really means be friends with benefits.
For some, I honestly feel like relationships are like, it served its purpose. I feel like so many people hold on to things in life instead of letting them go, allowing it to be what it is at that moment, and just being able to release it to the world and say, you know what, I got all I could get from this situation, this relationship. Now let me move on. Right. And I feel like when you do that, it sometimes hinders you. And so for me, regardless of if it was, ending on bad terms or not, it wasn't something like, okay, I need to have this person as a friend, right? If you was truly my friend, we probably would have went through half of the stuff that we went through. And if we did, we probably would have resolved it differently, but we didn't. And so with that being said, it's just like I said, I take what I can take from it. It was what it was. Sayonara. I wish the best, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think you brought up a great point. I think people really do struggle letting go, but I don't think they struggle to let go of the person. They struggle to let go of the idea of what that person could have been or what they could be. And it like you said, it really stops them from creating the space for their blessing. Like, a lot of times we pray for certain blessings, but we're not creating the space within our hearts, within ourselves, in order to receive it. It's hard to let go. Like, I once heard TDJ say that you gotta learn to let go of things that happened to you and the things that didn't happen for you. Like, when you spend so much time with the person and you want to reach that next level of getting married and it doesn't happen, it hurts.
Yeah.
Right. And you feel like you just invested so much time, effort, and energy into that person that it's going to be like sunken costs. Where it's like, oh, I don't want to walk away now because I did all this. I'm going to end up losing something. But you just continue to put yourself into more debt, digging yourself a deeper hole, and you really just don't allow for those positive vibes, for those blessings, for the right person to enter your life.
Yeah.
Me personally, I honestly think that friendship is the foundation of a relationship. Like, we talk all the time about that attunement. When I'm talking about friendship, I'm talking about attunement, which means that you have the desire and the respect to understand your partner's inner world. Like, you know everything about them. But what I think is very important for people to understand, because a lot of times they talk in the sense of when they bring up foundations, they're talking about in the sense of building a home. Like, you have to have a strong foundation in order to build things up on it, right? But what I think a lot of people are missing is even the foundation of a house rests on something. Like, you have to dig up the dirt in order to pour the concrete down to create that foundation. So, number one, I think that people are not using solid concrete. They go into some crazy type store. They trying to put together their own mixtures and call it a foundation when it's really not. Number two, I think it's what's underneath of the foundation that's rocky. Yeah. Connecting with the earth, connecting with the creator. Because one thing I learned on our spiritual journey, one thing I learned in our relationship is even when your foundation may be weak, if it's laying on top of some solid ground, you'll be able to bounce back from it. It may crack, it may split a little bit, but you'll be able to fill the hole back because the ground underneath it didn't cave in. Yeah. And I believe that when we got deeper spiritually, that we were able to heal a lot of the damage in our foundation through that connection. Because there was a lot of things that I think that if we would have tried to heal in our flesh, we wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah. Because we didn't have the answers. Yeah. We didn't have the covering to do it. So I think that friendship is the foundation to a strong, healthy relationship. But what's even more important is, what is that foundation laying on top of?
Yeah. I also think what you said is true, and I think it's very deep, and it could be explained, like you could explain it in depth so much more, because like it's like you said, like underneath that foundation, what is under there? Because it's everything. I feel like it's a combination of things that build up that friendship, right? It's not just, oh, we just have friendship, but it is, what is the definition of that friendship, right? Because a friendship looks differently for everyone. Yeah. And how your idea of a friendship could be different from my idea of a friendship. And so having that understanding of what that friendship means says a lot as well. Right. What that friendship is, because like you said, it could be the foundation, but it could be two separate ideas of what that foundation is for two different people. And so I think once you have that clear understanding of what that is, what's inserted to make that friendship solid, to make that the foundation, and make sure that it's stable and everything like that, then you have a better understanding. Then you have a solid relationship to build off of, right? But if y'all not aligned and understanding if it's the same thing, then who knows which way it will go. And so I think with that being said, when they say, oh, we will remain great friends, whatever the case may be, well, what is your definition of friends? Yeah. What is your definition of a friendship? Is it just us being friendly? Maybe that is the term of us being able to see each other in passing and wish each other well. Or is it something else? So I think when you say that, it could be a broad statement that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, and even then, I think it's important to understand that even good friends don't remain friends throughout their entire life. So it's like, it has to be more. Like I said, I think it's the foundation of a healthy relationship, but there has to be more, because I don't have the same friends I had in elementary school. Right. I don't have the same friends I had in middle school, in high school, in college. Like, I'm in a different season and place in my life, and maybe they may have served their purpose for that time in my life. But if we're not intentional about growing together and not being the friend I needed in 8th grade, but being the friend that I need now, to have an understanding of what has changed about you throughout the years, and I'm not keeping what we talked about, love maps before, where I'm understanding your journey, right, then the friendship, what does it really mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it takes a lot of work. Like, and I know when people hear work, when it comes to marriage or relationship, they don't want to do it. They want it to just be easy, but this is not a fairy tale. Like, this is like real life. Like, people go through real things, real struggles. People are fighting internally to try to figure out who they are. And they have to do their own internal work. So if you have to do the work on yourself, what makes you think you don't have to do the work within a union? Mm-hmm. Because now it's two people who possibly may not know who they are or where they're going. So you have to be able to put in the work in order to get what you want. Because if not, you'll end up growing apart. You won't even notice it until it just hits you one day like, yo, what am I doing in this relationship? Yeah. And if you don't know the answer to that, it's over. Mm-hmm. It's over.
Yeah, well, we hope all is well for them, whatever
still
their
my
situation
friend,
may be.
You my friend.
But getting into today's topic, you guys, we wanted to dedicate this one to y'all, our number one, insert Usher's number one. But no, we wanted to make sure that we was giving y'all this episode because like before we talked about when we had episodes like this, we have our DMs, our emails flooded, right? With messages and questions, asking for tips and advice from you all. And so we wanted to take this time out to just focus on y'all, give y'all answers that y'all need for y'all questions, and just, yeah.
So give us y'all. What's our first one? Let me hold on. Message! First message. What we got?
He had to. I can't. Okay, so... And also, you guys, just know if y'all do have y'all message, it is confidential. We're not going to be, putting y'all information, y'all business out there like that. So we're just going to read it, right? So it says, my wife and I are in a moment where she is upset with me due to accidentally following someone who I talked to for 1 week but blocked on Snapchat over a year ago. Recently on Instagram, where it gives you suggestions on people to follow based off of the people that you follow already, he accidentally followed her. No intentions or thoughts of how it happened or what the person was doing, and then he immediately unfollowed her after that. However, by the time his wife had came across it, she was furious and asked why he did it, right? She feels as if he's hiding something and not telling the whole truth, but he says that he is, and he's in constant prayer over the situation, trying to reassure her that he has not done anything. So he's asking how he can help with that situation with her.
You tell him. You start first. You the woman. How can he build back up the trust? Because clearly, the trust has been broken. There's a sense of betrayal in this situation because she has asked him not to follow her before. I guess on Snapchat he blocked her then, but then there was another route through Instagram. And I know me and you have had these issues before too, so kind of give him an understanding of.
Well, see, I don't really know. Okay, so this is why I say I don't know, because when you get those suggestions of who to follow, you clearly have to tap the follow button, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like I'm scrolling and it is just very sensitive to the tapping of following someone. So it's kind of hard, not to say that he didn't mean to do it or he did mean to do it, but it's, for me,
he meant to do it.
It's right. It's kind of hard to just say, oh, I have suggestions, because I get suggestions all the time and I keep scrolling. I don't want to follow you, right? And so with that, it's just like, it's kind of hard to say, well, you just did it by accident, right? If you did or didn't, either way, I feel like it is making sure that you're constantly reassuring her, your wife, that she has nothing to worry about, right? Because if this was an issue that y'all dealt with a year ago and now it's for some reason coming back up, she's thinking, well, what is it, right? Are you interested in this person? We had this discussion. Clearly, it's someone that has affected your relationship in some way. And so she may be feeling some type of, something. I don't want to necessarily say insecurity, but it may be something in her that is just like, something doesn't sit well, right? And it may be for good reason, who knows? But I just think you have to be very intentional about reassuring her that it's not what it is and being honest with yourself if it was what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it is, then you have to be upfront to say, you know what, I did do this, the reason why you did it, and what needs to be done moving forward. Because when we just try to suppress whatever happened and just put on a face and make up a story and try to get over it, it doesn't help the situation. So if there is a reason why you did it, or if you did intentionally do it, to be honest and just upfront about it. And then from there, work on how you can move forward and what needs to be done so that your wife feels comfortable and doesn't have to feel like she has to be concerned about what you're doing and who you're following.
Yeah, like you said, I think just communication fixes this issue. There's clearly have been trust issues in your relationship. Mm-hmm. This person has caused pain, hurt, disrespect, whatever the case may be to your wife. And it's up to you to figure out what's really going on to solve the problem, since at the end of the day, you're a part of the problem. Mm-hmm. And nothing is supposed to come before your wife. So if she has an issue with it, find out what's going on and fix it. It ain't worth throwing away your marriage or having your wife feel some type of way for somebody that you're not interested in. Yeah. It doesn't really make any sense.
Yes. So the next message, it says, "Hi, I would like to ask for you guys' advice regarding my relationship. My fiance and I have been engaged for a year, dating for 2 years. Our wedding is in February of 2022. But last week, which is a couple weeks ago, I found out he cheated on me by going through his phone. I know I have two options, to stay, get counseling, and work through it, or to walk away. I want to walk away. However, we are having our home built, and it is scheduled to be completed this spring. I say that to say my savings are tied up into the house, and I feel stuck. His mother was laid to rest recently, and he has been going through a lot of emotional stress. However, that does not justify his actions. I need help understanding what to do. He and I have only had sex twice this past month. I expressed my concerns to him and tried to initiate having sex, but he declined. He slept with the friend that he cheated with, was his married friend. Do you think that there is a bigger problem since we are not having sex, but he had sex with someone else?"
First, I just want to say that I'm sorry you're going through this. I know, like, before you get married, this is not something that somebody wants to go through. Yeah. And also, my prayers is out for your fiance having to lay his mom to rest, which is a tough situation. But like I said, I mean, like you said, it doesn't really justify his actions. Mm-hmm. Because in relationships, when the point of being in a relationship, the point of being in a marriage is that you don't have to go through things by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to learn to turn towards each other and be there as a support system for one another, instead of turning away and finding that support outside of your relationship or outside your marriage. So yes, there is an underlying issue going on in your marriage. And I understand that the house is supposed to be done in spring, but that I wouldn't use that as a justification to go ahead and go along with this marriage. Mm-hmm. Because how long are you truly going to be able to stay in that house as a happy married couple, mm-hmm, without solving this issue first? And I can tell you this, because I'm not here to judge nobody by their actions, because we talked on the podcast about things that had transpired before me and Asha got married. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and just start to come down on your fiance about the actions that he took. But when I listen to this marriage, there is a huge red flag to me, mm-hmm, that I think needs to get solved. And it's not really pertaining to your relationship, because relationships have their issues. They have their problems, right? So that's not the biggest red flag to me. The biggest red flag is that he had sex with a married woman. So my question would be, how much respect does he have for marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Is there really any boundaries for him? Because if you're willing to disrespect somebody else's marriage, what are you willing to do to yours?
Yeah.
So I think that he has to really truly get an understanding of what marriage is, what it represents, because he's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And until he gets there, it'll be dangerous for you to put yourself in that situation. Because right now, not only has he showed that he doesn't respect what y'all got, he doesn't respect what marriage represents.
Yes.
So
I would definitely say that right now you would have to postpone and put on hold everything, right? I don't know as far as what exactly needs to be done as far as the home being built and everything, but I would have to put a pause on everything, especially with the wedding coming up. Like, now is the time if you are, because you said that you want to walk away, right? And sometimes when we're in that moment of we're upset, we're angry, we just want to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to deal with it. But do you truly want to walk away, or do you truly want to work on things? So you have to sit down in a space of you having a clear mind and an open heart to say, is this what I want to do? You know, is this the man that I want to marry? Is this the right choice for me to make, to leave or to stay? Ultimately, you're going to have to be the one to make that decision. But what I can say is, just like Devin said, someone stepping out and cheating is a lot, but someone stepping out and cheating with someone else who's already in a marriage says a whole lot. Like you said, it says a lot about what he values as a man, as far as the union of the marriage. And that is what's uneasy to me, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, and either, it doesn't even matter. It don't matter if they were single or married or not. I'm just saying him cheating regardless is wrong. But like you said, the idea of there's another family, there's another union, there's another wife, husband, if they have children, whatever, that's affected by your actions. And if you're going to be getting married and you know this, how do you think that would affect your family and your union if someone was to come in and do that to you? So I just think y'all have to put a pause on things. I think going to counseling, premarital counseling, is necessary. It's crucial right now, because now you're going to have to figure out, are we doing this or are we not? Y'all already are putting into place some very serious steps, from getting married to building a home together, building a life together. And you don't want to go into that uneasy. You don't want to go to it unsure. We talked about it previous times before on the podcast. Like, we would have paused things in our relationship and not went forward with getting married when we did, so that we can do the work and not have to do the work in the marriage. Because just because you get married doesn't make it any easier. No. You are still in a relationship. You still have that union. And now you have to really work harder for that. And so, and knowing that if this is something that you want to do, put in the work now so that you don't have to do it later down the line.
Yeah, because the goal is not just to get married. The goal is to stay married. And as we talked about in the beginning of this podcast, that spiritual ground is messed up. I know this because he messed with a married woman. The spiritual ground is not solid right now. Y'all foundation is not solid. So what are y'all really going to build that house on? Like, your house, your actual house is going to be done being built before y'all even really lay a foundation in y'all relationship.
That's deep.
Y'all house going to be stronger than y'all relationship. We already know where this is going to end up. So you got to do the work right now. You got to put this marriage on pause. And I get that it's hard because everybody around you may be looking like, I don't know if they already know, but it's like, why you not getting married? Girl, you better go, honey. It's embarrassing. Just be honest. It's embarrassing. I get it. But just because you sunk your savings into this house, we talked about sunken costs earlier, where we're going to just go through something because we done invested so much in before. Mm-hmm. Think about the long-term loss that you're going to face. Yes. By doing this. Like, you lost monetarily, but what you going to lose emotionally? What you going to lose spiritually? Yes. Think about that loss. We can get the money back. You can get the money back. It's a lot harder to get your soul back. Yeah. When you lost it. It's a lot harder to get that self-respect back. Yes. When you lost it for yourself. So take the time to really contemplate. Like Asha said, don't make a decision based off emotions, but make a decision based off facts. Make a decision based off of good guidance. Reach out to the people who love and care about you, but also tell you the truth and not sugarcoat things. People that you respect, people that respect you, people that respect y'all union. And, you know, hopefully y'all be able to make it through this, but this is tough. This is tough right now, but
I also wanted to, I don't want to get all emotional, but I feel for what you're going through. And so as a woman, I just want you to validate you and the emotion that you're feeling, because I know that you're probably in a storm right now, right? It seems like a whirlwind around you and your world is flipped upside down. You don't know what to do, right? And so if you are truly wanting to walk away, you know the situation, the road that y'all been down and what's ahead and what it looks like, right? And so if you know that this is not something that you want to move forward with, if you said, I want to walk away, but this is holding me, just know that if you feel like your savings is tied up in it, there will be a way, right? We believe in God, and I believe God is a provider, right? And so if you're walking away and you're thinking, oh, I'm walking away and I'm losing everything, he will bless you abundantly moving forward, right? Your blessings is not just tied into this man. Your blessing is not just tied into that home. And so if you truly feel like you want to walk away, you can walk away. And you will have come out a better person. Like you said, that, like Devin was saying, your soul and how you feel should not be tied up and wrapped up into the relationship, and you sit back 5 years down the line resenting this man that you married, resenting this home that you're sitting in, right? Because just having the home or having the house built doesn't make it a home. It doesn't make you feel loved. It doesn't make you feel appreciated. It doesn't pour into you. It's just you're sitting in that room with four walls around you and feeling empty. And so if you at this moment, after you, like Devin said, seeking counseling, praying, going to God, asking those around you who, like he said, you love and you trust, and you know that they're not going to just tell you something like, oh girl, just leave him. They're going to give you solid advice and you trust them. If you still feel like I can't do this, don't do it. Yeah. Like I said, we're all for love. We're all for relationships, all for marriage, but don't put yourself in a situation where you know you don't want to be in.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
We got another one. We got a last one.
So the last one says, hey guys, my fiance and I always tune into the podcast and we love it.
Shout out to y'all.
So first, I just want to say thank you for the value that you provide. Oh, we appreciate y'all. We are looking for some premarital counseling or just relationship counseling. I know that our relationship isn't perfect and we really want to work on the relationship and work things out before we move forward. We have some minor issues that feel like they can lead to major ones down the line if we don't seek help soon. What can they do?
I love the fact that y'all are in tune with it, right? Mm-hmm. To realize, that although the problems may be small now, if we don't get control of this, it may have that snowball effect where it builds up into something bigger that really impacts y'all. And you said it's premarital, right?
Mm-hmm. I said premarital relationship.
I think right now, just look. Well, if y'all know other people who've been married before, especially when it comes to counseling, because we're not counselors, we do relationship coaching, which we put on hold for right now because our schedule is really hectic. But reach out to other married couples who may have gone through counseling and felt like they grew during that time in premarital counseling, because I think that before going into marriage, it's really important to build up that toolbox with tools that you can use, that you have on hand when you face issues in your marriage. So being able to reach out to other married couples and get their opinion about marriage counselors that they may have seen, or even if you don't have any married friends, it's easy now. Everything's available online for you to search good marriage counselors. We always recommend going with the Gottman therapist because they teach a lot of the stuff that we teach on this podcast, which is research based on how you can really create the type of marriage that you want and that you need. So I would definitely look into that. But shout out to y'all for recognizing the issues in y'all relationship right now and wanting to do something to take care of it.
Yeah, I think it's important, like you were saying, for you to really shop around. And it's kind of weird, but to really find the right counselor for y'all. And I say that because it's almost like just as important as each other in a relationship, right? This person is hopefully going to help y'all navigate through whatever issues y'all have to come out with the results that y'all want to have, with the advice, the knowledge that y'all need, the tools that y'all need to say, you know what, we're going to go through this relationship counseling, we're going to get married, and we can go back and pull from whatever we learned from our counselor in our marriage, because there's going to be storms that's in your marriage that you didn't expect, right? Something is always going to arise, good or bad. And so to have those resources and those tools are major, and for that right person to provide y'all with that information that y'all can trust and know that they're going to steer y'all down the right path is so important. And so when I say shop around, it's just make sure that you really are intentional with finding that right person for y'all, right? Doing your research, like Devin said, the Gottman-based therapists are amazing, but do your research. Even with them, it's so many of them, right? It's a ton of them. And so do your research, check online. Everything is at our access from the phone, laptop is right there. So do your research, your due diligence. Make sure that you find someone who suits both of y'all. Try them out. If it doesn't work, don't settle, because y'all want y'all marriage, y'all want y'all relationship to work long lasting forever. And so make sure that you're very intentional with doing that, and it will be beneficial.
Man, I think the great thing about counseling is, they don't have no skin in the game. There's no biases that play a part, which can happen when you go to friends or when you go to parents or you go to loved ones. They may be more inclined to side with one side than the other. But with counseling, you basically just have an outside person looking in, and they're able to be real with you. They're not choosing a side. They're not saying who's right or wrong. They're just helping you get to your goal. Because at the end of the day in a marriage, that's all it's really supposed to be about, is getting to the ultimate goal of the collective and not the individual. So do y'all research. Again, shout out to y'all for wanting to do the work before you get married, because it's going to pay off a lot, because the problems don't stop when you say I do. You spending a lifetime with somebody, y'all are continuously changing, growing, becoming different people, and it's going to take the right tools in order to learn how to adapt with your partner. So.
Yes. So you guys,
I made it through this episode. I'm over here killing this energy drink because I'm tired. Like I said, I didn't think that we was going to be able to get this done, but we wanted to get it done. So now
we
I'm
had
about
to get it done,
I gotta edit it,
Okay.
and then put it out to y'all. But
yes,
we got it done.
Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. And
Leave
next time
hold on. I got a reminder.
We always have to say, you guys, like, comment, and subscribe, like YouTube. No.
Rate and review. Shout out to everybody who's been leaving their reviews, because that's how we can really spread the word about this podcast and really build this community, because this is what we are striving for. We want this to be a community. We don't want this to be like, we're the teachers, we're the experts, y'all the students. Like, no, we started this podcast because we wanted to be real about relationships. We wanted to talk about the struggles because we know a lot of people are out there going through them. We wanted to talk about the triumphs we had in our marriage and our relationship, because we know other people out there are seeking it. Mm-hmm. So as long as we are coming into this community authentic and fully ourselves, mm-hmm. then I think that we can grow as a collective, as a whole. So we appreciate y'all. We know at the end of the day, authenticity gets rewarded. The real get rewarded. So shout out to all our real ones for sticking by us. So make sure you rate.
Yes. And you guys, since when we rating and everything, while we at it, y'all, we just gonna throw in a plug. If y'all haven't seen, because you hear this podcast, y'all listen to it. But if y'all want to check us out, make sure y'all tune in to Still Squad TV and watch the videos. We upload them on there. The same for the podcast, so you can get a visual of how amazing we look and our setting look. Because my husband announced that we switched up the setting. So make sure y'all tune in to Still Squad TV on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram at relationshippodcast.com, Facebook Relationship Podcast. And until then, you guys, keep it real.
Yes, sir.